They're experiencing things that women can experience in their 20s and their 30s and their 40s, and they're living their life. And I think that that's what the most beautiful thing about book club the next chapter is. Hey everyone, welcome back to Candid Cinema. I'm Amanda, otherwise known as AMX NDA Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Today I will be reviewing Book Club, the next chapter. That's right, our favorite gals are back, and I am a sucker for female friendships. I'm a sucker for women, seniors in particular, having their own stories, having their own journey, and actually living their lives. Women do not stop living after they get married, after, they pass the age of 65. They do not stop living even after, they lose their loved ones. They can keep living because they are their own person. And that is what we see in Book Club, the next chapter. Of course, if you haven't watched the first Book Club, the reason why the Book Club movie was even formed and made was because of 50 Shades of Grey and the success of 50 Shades of Grey. So you have Jane Fonda, Candice Bergen, Mary Steenburgen, and of course, Diane Keaton, all coming together for a monthly book club, and they read some books together. And I think that this is the energy that we need this upcoming Mother's Day, because all of these women bring something fresh to the table. These characters bring something new to the table, especially for older women. So with Book Club, the next chapter, something that I was happy with and I wasn't kind of turned off by was that it starts during the pandemic. It starts during lockdown, where you couldn't really see your friends, you couldn't see your loved ones, and it was a very difficult time for the entire world. It was so tough. So these women went on Zoom, learned, more importantly, how to use Zoom, learned how to use technology, and they still ordered books every single month and passed through lockdown reading these books with each other. And the friendship just kind of grew stronger. You can bond even more over that. And I think that that was really something special at the beginning of this. It just showed what some people did go through, being inside, working from home, losing their jobs, retiring. Like, it was just something very different and obscure for the entire world to experience. And I think they did it well. I know people are totally against like lockdown movies and showing that, but I do think that it's almost kind of necessary to show what the world was like and what society was like at that given time. And that's what movies kind of do. They do. It's a reflection of the society that we live in. What happens is that these four women finally see each other after, they're allowed to go outside and it's safer. And they read a book in person. They're reading The Alchemist, and Mary Steenburgen, who is just a doll in this movie. She's absolutely fantastic in this. She has been scared to live because her husband during lockdown suffered a heart attack. She has been on watch trying to make him eat healthier, but the man loves bacon, so it's really hard. So as like Mary Steenburgen is kind of cleaning her apartment, getting things in order, she finds this really old plane ticket that they were all supposed to go to Italy together, because Mary's character was trying to meet up with, an old flame back in the day and follow him off to Italy and all of that. So they had a plan to go to Italy, and then it never was. It never was because Diane Keaton's character got pregnant and just messed the entire thing up. So she has her story. We come to Jane Fonda's character, who essentially is getting married. She has been proposed to by Don Johnson, which is like one of the best pairings ever. But Jane Fonda's character has always been, a little flirtatious. She's been, with different men. She's had many relationships, but she has never wanted to get married, which is the key thing about this entire movie. And then Candice Bergen, who is newly retired, she can't be a judge anymore because of her age, I guess. And they kind of reduced her to just performing ceremonies for weddings and being like legally binding that they can marry the person. So she's very upset about that too. Candice Bergen's character is single as well. So her and Jane Fonda are both like the single ones in the group, where Mary and Diane Keaton are in their own relationships. But Diane Keaton's not married either. Very interesting. She's had a boyfriend for a very long time. She became a widow early on. in her marriage, and she really like loved him so much that she didn't have the heart to remarry, but she does have a loving boyfriend, which is played by Andy Garcia. So just to give a quick backstory with all of them, Mary Steenburgen says, listen, let's go to Italy. Let's live our dreams, just like in The Alchemist. This is a sign that we found the ticket. It's a sign, it's an omen, it's a good omen that we are going to Italy for Jane Fonda's bachelorette party. That is what this movie is about. You're taking these four amazing women who have shared so many things together and have a beautiful friendship, and you're taking them to Italy. Italy is beautiful. Okay, it is one of the most gorgeous, gorgeous places in the world, and they are traveling around, they're living their best life. And even though Mary's character is so scared to leave her husband, she was even more scared to have him come on this trip because she doesn't know what would happen with him traveling. So she's trying to keep him safe. So the women go. Now, it's hard to not love a movie that has beautiful countryside of Italy, beautiful cities. You're sitting down, you're having a glass of Prosecco. Like, it feels like you're on vacation with these women, but there are a lot of like senior jokes that are quite funny. I thought that was the best aspect in the movie, is that they have, the character banters and some really witty one-liners that held it together for me. However, this movie did run a bit long. I think that there were obstacles that they faced in the third act that really just dragged it out. I understand that they tried to tie different loose ends up with each character and make it romantic almost. And I get that as well. They're trying to move forward with certain relationships. And I think that was really special that they all kind of healed from their past. And it was just fun. You get to see these women again. They're older, but they're experiencing things that women can experience in their 20s and their 30s and their 40s, and they're living their life. And I think that that's what the most beautiful thing about Book Club, the next chapter, is they can still have fun. They can still drink and get drunk and, have relations with other men. They can still do all of this stuff. And the older I get, the more I think of like when I'm going to be like 40, when I'm going to be 60, it's just the fact that like you're still going to feel like your 20-year-old self. And now I understand why it's so tough for people to kind of let go of the past and their past self, because you still feel that way in your body, even though physically you're unable to do certain things in the exact same way. It's heartbreaking. So I think that those aspects are really nice. It just felt like the pacing was a bit off. That was the thing for me, where it was dragging a lot in the second act. They were trying to make certain like shticks work, and they didn't really work. I think that they could have tightened it up a little bit. There were a lot of things in the second act that were gorgeous to look at, don't get me wrong, but it was really slow moving once they got to, I think once they got to like Venice or something, just went really, really slow. And they turned it into a hangover type weekend where everything was going wrong, so she couldn't like get to her wedding. And then The Alchemist does come into it where, oh, maybe this is a sign that I shouldn't get married, or maybe this is a sign that I'm making the wrong choice. They really laid it on thick with The Alchemist. And I understand that people want to justify things happening in their lives. I am one of those people that I keep saying, I'm like, I'm going to trust the universe, and I hope the universe has me. You can hustle, you can have things happen to you, you can have like positive, like you have those affirmations, 100%. Everyone lives their lives in different ways, but I can relate to these women saying that like, this is definitely a sign of like what not to do. And then there are certain things in life that help change your perspective. And after reading The Alchemist, which I am currently reading right now, and I will be writing a review for Maud's book club, I completely understand what they're trying to do, because they need an excuse to say, it's okay for me to fly to Italy on vacation with my girls. It's okay for me to get married at the age of like 70 or 75. It's okay for me not to get married after being in a relationship with someone for 20 years and being okay with, my current relationship with them. All of those things happen. All of those conversations happen. I genuinely think that Every single woman can relate to at least one of these characters in this movie. I think it's such a fun movie to go watch. There are issues with it. I think I preferred the first one more so than this one. I think I'd give Book Club the next chapter like maybe a 2.5 out of 5 or a 3 out of 5. It's still great to like kick it back with all of these amazing actresses who just love each other so much. So please let me know what your favorite movie about female friendships is down below, because I love that stuff. And you just sometimes need that female energy. Women need that female energy. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. You can always follow me over at AMXNDA Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. And if you guys want to help me grow this amazing channel with my lovely community that I have here, you can check out ways to do that in the bio below. I'll catch you guys next time. Keep watching movies.